I'd go down there in the morning, sometimes at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get home 3 or 4 in the morning. After 90 days, I finally stumbled onto a lead, and I chased him all the way from Sacramento to Oregon to Arizona, Texas, Illinois, and finally found him in Rochester, Minnesota. The great thing I did is I sent my son to pick him up, to do the pickup.
Welcome to the Powerhouse Podcast, presented to you by Sac Life TV.
Hi, this is Topo Padilla, and I want to thank my family at Greg Padilla Bail Bonds for sponsoring the Powerhouse Podcast. We are always involved in the community, so if you ever find yourself in need of calling a bail bonds, you can call us at 446-BOND or find us at PadillaBailBonds.com. Sac Life TV and the Powerhouse Podcast want to thank Mosley Collins for his unwavering support of our podcast that keeps people informed. If you ever need legal help, call Mosley Collins Law at 444-4444. That's all fours for legal help. Hello, I'm Topo Padilla, your host of the Powerhouse Podcast, where we talk about an array of subjects, have some great guests. And today I will tell you, selfishly, I'm going to have the best guest I've ever had on this podcast. Someone, when the producers and I talked about it, we said, let's get somebody that's just can talk about anything and bring some real knowledge to this world and everybody watching. And they chose my father. They chose my father, Greg Padilla. They said, let's get your dad on here. You know, we always hear from you. What about him? And I said, well, the problem with getting him on here, it's a 30-minute podcast. We would need 3 hours to just get a touch. And I say that respectfully, a touch and just an inch of the knowledge that he has. So, you know, for those of you who know, probably know about my dad. He's a bail bondsman, been a bail bondsman for 46 years. Him and my mother, Glenna, hold two of the bail licenses that have been in existence. They're in the top 20 of that list. Selfish enough, I'm in the top 50, but they've had bail licenses. My dad is known all over the country, a very prominent figure in the bail bond business. He got into the business. My uncle, Leonard, who's his older brother, was the one who introduced him to the bail bond business. My dad, I'm going to tell you this part of the story. He was born in Fireball, California.
Fresno.
Fresno. Geez, I already messed it up. He was born in Fresno, because that was where the hospital was. But he lived in Fireball, and then he grew up in Tuolumne. What's interesting about my dad is that he didn't speak English until he started grade school. And I should let him tell that story, but he didn't speak English. And so Spanish was his first language. And then it was when they were 13 or 14 years old, they moved up to Tule Lake, California. And so I will say this, because I can. That's why I pronounce my last name Padilla instead of Padilla. When they went to Tule Lake, they were the only Hispanic family up there, and they changed it to Padilla. And I say that with pride because my grandparents and my uncles and my aunts worked their tail ends off in that community up there in Siskiyou County and Modoc County to make our name be proud. Still to this day, my dad has a ranch up there. So, Dad, welcome. I know you're going to struggle with this. It's going to be interesting. It'll be fun.
Right.
You ready?
I'm ready, I guess.
All right. So I know the answers to these questions, but bail's been part of your license since 1979. Before that, tell the viewers what you did.
In 1964, my older brother decided to open a car lot up. He'd been in the car business. He came to Sacramento to. He and my younger brother came to Sacramento to go to school at AR, American River. And anyway, they worked. My older brother got a job eventually in the car business, and he decided to open up a car lot. And he asked myself and my younger brother to be part of it. And the three of us and a friend that went to school with us opened up a car lot in Sacramento, not knowing anything about cars other than how to drive fast in them at that time.
Put gas in them.
Put gas in them.
5825 Watt Avenue.
5825 Watt Avenue. We were there. I was there for 14 years.
Yeah, North Island. So in 1979, you were introduced to the bail bond business, but why? Why were you getting out of the car business?
We got, the problem was, if anybody's old enough, is in in '73 we had a gas problem, and whether it was real or not, it affected us. Gas prices doubled back there then, and we couldn't buy cars. The cars that we could buy, we couldn't sell them. They had 2-year-old Cadillacs that were going for $2,000, and if you bought them all day long, you couldn't sell them. So there weren't any small cars. Everybody said, well, there should have been a way to get around it. And no, there wasn't any economical cars at that time like there is now. And in '79, it looked like it was doing it again. And my brother said, why don't you try this? And I turned it down a couple of times, and I finally said, well, we've got to do something because the car business isn't working that good. So we went down there and started in August of '79.
So for people to know, Dad started in '79. My mom also got her bail license in 1979. She still has it today, and won't say how old she is. But my dad is 85 years old, and you wouldn't know it until yesterday. I had a beard, and I got tired of people saying, "Are you guys brothers?" So I shaved. But my mom has been in the business since then. She still today partakes in the business and does auditing of our books. My wife Tina is our CFO. She handles all the finances, accounts payables, and does all that. My son Brandon, your grandson, has had his bail license now for 14 years, believe it or not. And we have his two granddaughters, my nieces, Natalie and Courtney, both work in the business. So it's a family business. And I want to dedicate this show to the best bail agent we've ever had, and that is my sister Teresa, who passed away in 2017. By far, one of the greatest bail agents this profession has ever had. And when I say that, I really mean it. She was really, really, really good at what she did. She was very compassionate, took care of people. So, Dad, we got in the bail business. What has made you love what we do? Because I truly know it's not the money. Because the risk we take and the money we make, it doesn't balance. What do you truly love about what we do?
The people, the ability to help people in times of when they're having problems. A lot of them. The other ones, it's maybe their profession, and those we try to just change by talking to them, by just being their friend, and just compassion for these people that have thought that was the only way. Folks thought that was the only way that they could make a living, or they could do what they had to do to survive. We always say it's great when we save some of those folks, and they do come back and they do thank us for what we did for them. And a lot of times it's for bringing them back across the country, and they finish court. They do what they have to do. They get a year. They get 2 years, 5 years. I had a gentleman that we had a bad time picking him up in Oklahoma, and that could have been my last pickup, but anyway, it ended up not being. And
how bad of a time was it?
Well, lucky it was a single shot pistol that he pulled, and he couldn't cock it. But other than that,
and he had it aimed right at you.
Yes, he did.
I mean, you got to tell that part of the story, because people are going to go, "What? You're either crazy or you really are compassionate." So he pulled it on you, and Mike Glazier was with you. He pulled it on you, and where did he put that gun?
Right in my chest, and kept squeezing the trigger. But like I said, it was a single action, so brand new. He didn't know how to operate it, and I was fortunate enough to bring him home. He apologized for what had happened, because I'd known him for about 5 years, and he apologized. He asked if I would bail him out of jail again after that, and yes, I did. And he never missed court after that, he went and did 5 years. First stop when he got out of prison was our office to say hello, and glad he was out and he was going to straighten out.
And I obviously know that story firsthand. For people watching and listening, we're not these people that are just so mindset and hell bent on, oh, these poor people, they've been arrested and this and that. It's not about that. It's about we're God-fearing people. We're not the judge. We're not the jury. Our job is to hold people accountable. So that's what we do. We hold people accountable for the criminal justice system. Because I know, aside from helping people and doing what we do there, the accountability side is what has made you and Leonard, Leonard was never a bail agent, but you guys, in my mind, the best bail agents that the profession could have because of the accountability that you brought to the criminal justice system.
Most people don't realize it, but it's a contract between us and the county, for example, and the judge says, bring him home. He's got to come to court, and that's our job. Is to the easy part is to bail someone out. The hard part is to see him through his
him or her.
Pardon me.
Him or her.
To see them through their time of crisis, and in other words, to finish going to court, and it's just our contract with the system. And like I said, most people don't realize that. Domestic violence is something that's happening every day, all day long, and I try to explain to my son that you can go to jail and you can bail out, and it costs you some money. But what is cheaper, going to jail and bailing out, or marriage counseling? Marriage counseling, they don't give it away, and this is what's happening in California. They're out to get us again, so to speak, and they're trying to figure out how to backdoor the bail industry. But there again, why don't those people that are trying to put us out of business try to help these people and explain to them, hey, go to marriage counseling if you're having problems. Don't let it get to an OJ problem. And that's why the domestic violence bonds are so high in California, is because of OJ. You might say he passed that law.
Well, and just to, some people might not understand exactly what he's saying, because he's talking to me. He knows I understand, but the legislature in California has tried for decades, not a decade, decades, to try and eliminate bail. And we have fought, not only financially, but with our lives, our emotion, our time at the Capitol. We were at the Capitol the other day on a bill. This bill said we, as bail bonds, and if they didn't file charges on somebody after they were arrested, we would have to give the money that they paid us back to them. And my 85-year-old father and my dear friend Gloria Mitchell, who was the president of the California Bail Agents Association, who had cancer from head to toe, and just weeks ago passed away. And I dedicate my time and everything I do to her as well. They sat in that hearing room for over 8 hours, fighting for our profession. Yeah, you say, oh, you're just trying to save and make money. No, we believe in what we do. I know you believe in it because you've instilled in me, you've instilled in my son. You believe in what we do. And what he just said about domestic violence is that maybe that arrest, maybe that shock and awe, maybe that having to bail out of jail will prevent you. Maybe that's the time you go, you know what, honey, maybe we should get some help. And maybe that cheap ride to jail and getting out of jail may change you.
It's like going to the principal's office when you're a little kid. That's good for some, but like I said, the marriage counseling, I'm sure that they don't give that away, and I'm sure that the marriage counselor, if they failed, wouldn't give their money back to the folks.
Well, Dad, nobody's ever said it like that, but it's the truth. So, as we both know, we work with the criminal justice system. one of the stories that I know makes you proud is about judges, the way they look at us. Judges haven't always looked at us the way they look at us today. And this is no, I'm not trying to insult judges, but maybe they just didn't know us. Maybe they just didn't know who we were and, quite frankly, what we did. I mean, you've had judges ask you, right?
When we got in the business, it seemed like I could be walking down the sidewalk, and if a judge happened to be approaching us, he'd walk across the street so he wouldn't have to say hello. And myself, I pride myself in believing that I was the one that started the big change in Sacramento. And there are judges from back in '79, the '80s, '90s that I just respect them so much, and I believe that they also respect us for the change. It's just and like I said, I felt that I won that battle when I'd have judges call up and ask if I could send Topo over to see him, and it was just about questions about bail and about this and about that, and like I said, it made me proud to know that we'd come that far.
And what my dad doesn't know is that today, a while back, I went over to the courthouse. I wear a suit and tie to work every day. My dad does as well. I try and not get him to come to the office every day. But my son, Brandon, he doesn't wear a suit and tie. He goes, Dad, we're a different age. We're a different group. He's 32, and we don't wear a suit and tie. But I went over there, and I was like, where's Brandon? Oh, he's back in the back, back there talking to the judge in the chambers. And they were back there having a serious discussion. And so I walked in and hello, Your Honor. And my son didn't realize how well I had known that judge. I'd known that judge for over 20 years. And the three of us had just a wonderful conversation. And the judge did not realize Brandon was my son. And he goes, oh, I like this young man. He's always back here and, helping us, educating us, talking to him. So, Dad, it's spilled over to Brandon. I mean, he literally is respected over there. So I want to talk to you about our relationship with law enforcement. And there's a special relationship that we have. I won't take too much time with the Sheriff's Department. And dating back to Sheriff Glenn Craig, Sheriff Lou Blanis, Sheriff John McGinnis, Sheriff Scott Jones, and now today, Sheriff Jim Cooper, I will say this, every single one of those sheriffs knows, understands, and has respected bail. Every single one of them. And I'm so grateful for that. And I think you darn well deserve a lot of credit for that because they were around us. They knew we were good people and they knew we were doing the right things. But the relationship with law enforcement, how did it start for you?
It was kind of rocky. There were just very few people that understood that we weren't out there looking to get our money back, is what I used to have a lot of police and sheriffs say, well, you're out here just trying to get your money out of that person. I said, no, he just has to go to court and take care of his case. It's not about money at that point. It's about coming back and fulfilling his duties as our client or a defendant. And like I said, it was rough in the early days, but it just got better and better to where cooperation and with law enforcement and cooperation with the courts and everything, it was just it's turned into be quite a ride. Like I said, it's 46 years, and I believe that bail is the only way to go. Yes, it does cost money, but maybe if you don't want to continue to keep spending money, you'll change. And like I said, we have the contract with the court that says that we have to bring you back, even if you go wherever you go. We've been all over the. I'd say we've been all over the United States and parts of Texas.
Yeah, it's true. But where I was going with this, and I do want to give credit to retired Lieutenant John Forenza. If you could tell that story, he was with the Sheriff's Department. Back then he was a deputy, but...
Yes.
Oh, no, he may have been a sergeant. No,
he just made sergeant, I believe. Anyway, John, he's a great person, a great friend. I met him at a TV program that
Finnerty and Company.
Finnerty and Company. They had asked my brother to be on it, and to the mystique of being a bail agent and a bounty hunter at that time. The bounty hunters, not a fugitive recovery agent, but he on the show, if there's film still available, he mentioned that he hated bondsmen, and that he hadn't found any of them that were any good, and this and that, and he just went on and on. And I thought, wow, this man doesn't like us. And so I followed him out of the studio and got to talking to him and asked him if he wouldn't mind that I'd like to, call him once in a while and try to work with him and try to get along. And anyway, after a while, we just continued to be around each other, and he's become a very, very close, dear friend of ours.
Yeah. What John did, he had a group, he was in charge of the Warrant Bureau.
Yes, he was a sergeant of the Warrant Bureau. Yeah, he had, at that time, I believe he had either 6 or 7 people strong in the Warrant Division, and they did a fantastic job. Fantastic.
Chasing down fugitives and holding them accountable.
We were both in the same business.
Yeah. One of the things that was unique about John, his wife had a business, so he knew what it liked to be a business owner. And one of the things, if you said, what are the top 10 things I hate about what people think about us, other than the fact that they think we're just flowing and we weigh our money, if they knew the risk we take, and I'm not talking about the financial risk only, I'm talking about the personal, physical risk that we take going out on these streets to bring these people. Hey, we signed up for it, so I'm not trying to hold myself out of it. But I hate when people say, "Oh, you're just going to get your money." Doesn't that drive you nuts?
That is.
Have you ever had a cop say that to you?
Oh, I've had a lot of them tell me that. He says, "So you want us to go out there and help you get your money back out of the guy?"
Get your money back. Yeah, I mean, it's been said. Trust me. Well, I want to talk. Part of our jobs is fugitive recovery. I've never ever called myself, and I never heard you call yourself a bounty hunter, and I have no problem with that. Dwayne Chapman, Dog the Bounty Hunter, is a very, very good family friend of ours. His kids, Beth Chapman, was a very dear friend of mine. God rest her soul. We've always called ourselves bail bondsmen that are doing our job. I never called myself anything more than that. Skip tracer, I didn't mind that. I'm a skip tracer. You skipped, I'm tracing you now. Today, we are legally and lawfully called fugitive recovery agents. It's in the California Penal Code. That's part of our job. And I'm going to say this, because I know you won't, but you and my uncle Leonard Padilla are by far 2 of the greatest fugitive recovery agents, skip tracers, bail bondsmen. And what made you so great was persistency. You didn't stop. You didn't care if it was a $500 bond, $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000 bond. However, the 2 of you have something special in your brains that gets you with the ability to find somebody.
Yeah. To look for someone when sometimes the biggest lead you have is their name it is an art, I guess you might say, to any of the folks that are out there doing that. It's just an unbelievable thing that everybody asks, how do you do it? And one of the things is, I remember the movie, what was it? Perseverance, and that's basically what it is. I looked for a gentleman one time for. I was handed the file as a $250,000 bond, and I looked for him for 90 days. I'd go down there in the morning, sometimes at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get home 3 or 4 in the morning, and after 90 days, I finally stumbled onto a lead, and I chased him all the way from Sacramento to Oregon to Arizona, Texas, Illinois, and finally found him in Minnesota.
Rochester, Minnesota.
Rochester, Minnesota. And the great thing I did is I sent my son to pick him up to do the pickup. I never flew commercial until after that.
Yeah. So he sends us 20. I was 21 at the time.
Yeah.
That, you know, people are going to think differently. You send a 21-year-old kid on the road by himself? No. He sent me with Mike Phelps, and Mike and I were on the road for 30 days. And what was wrong with that? I came home.
So when they finally picked him up, and anyway, he tried to talk his way out of the jail, got into the hospital, and he tried to talk his way. He was walking out of the hospital because they hadn't put a guard on him. But anyway, we finally nailed him down, put him in jail, and made sure that they were not taking him or moving him out of jail. Anyway, my son flew home to his cousin's wedding. I didn't recognize him. He'd gained 15 pounds on that road trip, going from one town to another.
Yeah,
chasing leads.
We did. We've only got a few minutes left. I mean, out of all the cases we've done, the people we've found, people have always said we should have written a book, and I'm sad we didn't, because
just need somebody that writes to get a hold of us so we can write the book. There's several of us that are very interesting people that, and I have to say this, he now is actually a whole lot better at finding folks than I am.
Well, I'll tell you, my he's up there. But Dad, you and Leonard in that era of people did it without computers. You had a phone, dimes for the payphone, pagers. That's what you had. So I had the great fortune of growing up learning from the two of you how to do it with my mouth, my ears, and my feet, knocking on doors. In closing, I just wanted to turn it over to you to talk about your life as a bail bondsman.
Oh, it's like I said, it's been quite a ride. Just hope it'll keep going for a while longer. And like I said, they're after us, and they're always trying to backdoor us in one way or another. It's really a sad shame because they don't know us. They just don't know us.
They don't. Well, Dad, it's been an honor. It's been pretty cool. This went a lot quicker and better than I thought it was. Like I said, I could interview you for 3 hours and have you tell some stories. Maybe next time that's what we'll do. We'll come on and tell some of our war stories, because I promise you, people would not believe some of the stories we have of how we found people, some of the things we won't divulge, but it's been pretty cool. That's a lot of fun.
That's always one of the questions that we're always asked. How'd you find me?
We've got some answers for that. So with that, thank you for tuning in the Powerhouse Podcast with my father, Greg Padilla. It's been pretty cool, pretty awesome. So thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode of the Powerhouse Podcast. Hi, this is Topo Padilla, and I want to thank my family at Greg Padilla Bail Bonds for sponsoring the Powerhouse Podcast. We are always involved in the community, so if you ever find yourself in need of calling a bail bonds, you can call us at 446-BOND or find us at PadillaBailBonds.com. Sac Life TV and the Powerhouse Podcast want to thank Mosley Collins for his unwavering support of our podcast that keeps people informed. If you ever need legal help, call Mosley Collins Law at 444-4444. That's all fours for legal help. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Powerhouse Podcast, where we bring you fair and balanced discussions on the issues shaping our community. We welcome your input, opposing viewpoints, and guest recommendations, because every voice matters. Have a topic or a guest in mind? Email us at php@saclife.tv.